If you're a developer right now, you've probably asked yourself this question at least once in the past year. Is the job market broken, or is it just me? In 2026, the global job market, especially for software developers, looks very different from what it did just a few years ago. Some people are saying AI is replacing programmers. Others are saying demand for developers has never been higher. So what's actually true? Let's break it down honestly. First, the job market itself. Compared to the hiring boom we saw between 2020 and 2022, things are definitely slower. During those years, companies were hiring aggressively. Startups were getting massive funding, remote work exploded, and developers were being hired faster than companies could interview them. Then, reality hit. Tech companies realized they had overhired. Funding slowed down, interest rates went up, and layoffs started across the industry. Thousands of engineers suddenly entered the job market at the same time. So, in 2026, what we're seeing is a correction. There are still jobs, but companies are being far more selective. Instead of hiring 10 average developers, they would rather hire 2 strong ones, which means the bar has gone up. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room: AI. AI tools like coding assistants, automated testing tools, and code generation systems have dramatically changed how software is built. But here's the important part that most people misunderstand. AI didn't eliminate software development. It eliminated some types of developers. A lot of the routine work developers used to do, like boilerplate code, simple CRUD APIs, basic UI components, can now be generated by AI tools in seconds. That means companies don't need large teams to do repetitive work anymore. But the demand for real engineering skills is actually increasing. Companies still need people who understand architecture, system design, performance, scalability, and security. AI can write code, but it still struggles to design complex systems, debug production issues, and make engineering decisions. In other words, AI is not replacing engineers. It's replacing low-skill coding work. And this is why the market feels brutal for junior developers right now. Entry-level positions are harder to get than they were 5 years ago because the simplest tasks, the ones juniors used to start with, are increasingly automated. Meanwhile, experienced engineers who can design systems, lead projects, and solve complex problems are still very valuable. This is also why the definition of a good developer is changing. 5 years ago, knowing a framework like React or Angular could get you a job. Today, that alone isn't enough. Companies want developers who understand system architecture, performance optimization, cloud infrastructure, security, distributed systems, and how to use AI tools effectively. The developers who adapt to this new environment are doing fine. The ones who treat programming like a checklist of frameworks are struggling. Another major shift happening in 2026 is productivity expectations. AI tools have made individual developers much faster. A single engineer today can often do the work that used to require 3 or 4 people. That means smaller teams, but stronger engineers. And this trend is likely to continue. Now, here's the question many people are asking. Are software development jobs disappearing? The honest answer is no, but the shape of the industry is changing. Software is still eating the world. Every business, from healthcare to logistics to education, still needs software systems. But companies now expect engineers to operate at a higher level. They want people who can think like engineers, not just people who can write code. So what does this mean for developers moving forward? It means focusing less on memorizing frameworks and more on understanding how systems actually work. Learn architecture. Learn how large systems scale. Understand networking, databases, performance, and distributed systems. And most importantly, learn how to work with AI instead of competing against it. The developers who treat AI as a tool will become far more productive. The developers who ignore it will fall behind. The job market in 2026 is not dead. It's just more competitive and more demanding than before. But for developers who continue learning and evolving, the opportunities are still there. The industry hasn't disappeared. It's just growing up. And the developers who grow with it will do just fine. If you found this breakdown useful and want more honest discussions about software engineering, AI, and the tech industry, consider subscribing. Because the next few